So part two of this is how do you actually give an order? So every time we're going up to an objective, I think we all stop for a second. We know, hey, we need to capture this to get points, but we don't know much other than that or how to do it. So any infantry commander, before they go and step off to an objective, gives an op order. Sometimes it's a quick one, sometimes it's a full briefing. On the field, it's typically a quick one. Essentially, it starts with, you call it OSMIAC. So orientation, situation, mission, execution, admin, logistics, command and control. So what the hell does that mean? That means, let's give an example. So when we were assaulting Empire Castle, this is basically my shitty handwriting of what it would look like. So orientation, where we were at the time, we were west of Empire Castle, north of Alamo. The German insertion is to the south and southeast of us, so they'll be coming from that way. The situation is the Germans are holding Empire Castle in order to gain 3 points at whatever time that would be, and it's X o'clock right now. Our mission is we must take the castle by a certain time and set up a defense until X time when we need to move south for a different objective. How do we execute that? I'll get to that in a second, and we can look at how we actually look at doing that. Then the next part is admin logistics. We can take a quick count of paint, who has how much paint, who has how much air, make sure we're all loaded up. If not, maybe we can distribute paint between each other, or if it's an air problem, well, then you're fucked. Command and control, just a quick, if Justin dies and he has to step off field, it goes to, and just understand that it goes to the squad leaders and then to the fire team leaders to command and etc. So the execution part, how do you actually do this shit? How do you actually attack Empire Castle? So if we have 4 fire teams, this is the shittiest drawing I can make in 5 minutes, but it'd basically be, this is Empire Castle, there's 4 corners. If you remember it, there was basically a bastion here, or a kind of 2-floor bunker. There was another 2-floor bunker over here with a catwalk that moved across. There was another one over here and another one in back. If I were to do this, you basically would send Delta Fire Team to this bunker right here to establish a base of fire. Charlie to the corner of it to also start covering fire as well, but not actually occupy the building. Alpha and Bravo move around. Alpha moves into the actual bunker itself, into the 2nd floor, starts laying down fire there. Bravo also starts laying down covering fire so that Alpha can move across that gangway. Alpha then moves in, turns left. Bravo then moves in as well. Usually the 1st floor, you can split between the 1st and 2nd floor, moves into the right. Charlie at that point is rushing up to the bottom floor, moves through that gate, while Delta is still providing cover fire. Once Charlie gets inside, Delta moves in with them, and we all start clearing together to 4 points on both floors. So basically, that's a shitty 5-second way, and it's probably not perfect at all, but it's better than having 0 plan whatsoever. So how do you actually move together as a squad? That's something essentially like this. This is the basics of how a squad is supposed to cover and move together. Usually you establish one of the fire teams to actually be a base of fire. So they lay down majority of the cover in a center position that can, in this case, be Charlie or Delta or something like that if you're going around in the case of Empire Castle. The way this works, you would essentially have, in this case, you could see we're in a line formation. It's not exactly a line. There's a specific name for it. It doesn't really matter. We're only going to talk about basically an online formation, essentially, because that's all that's really applicable. So what you would essentially do here is you have a staggered line. These 3 guys would provide cover fire. At the same time these guys are firing. When we see that there's a good line of fire and you say go, these 2 gentlemen and here would move up to these positions. Now the length of time that you actually move up is no more than, say, 10 yards or so. Maybe a little bit more if it's really clear, but in the Marines what they'd say is, I'm up, they see me, I'm down. So as far as you can run in only a few seconds is basically what you need to do. It's a little bit easier in paintball, so maybe you could go a little bit longer. Once you establish and these 2 gentlemen are here, these 2 guys lay down cover fire. These 3 guys then move up essentially beyond them. And that pattern basically keeps going. So it would look like this. These guys If these guys are already up here, these guys then move back into these positions, and it keeps going. It's kind of what people say is a leapfrog. Well, Delta is just laying down cover fire for everybody. So in the case of back at Empire, it would look kind of like this. These guys are moving up, they're providing cover fire. When they get here, they move up, they provide cover fire for them until we get here. Same thing over here, move around. These guys would basically do the same shit. So that's the three things that would really help us a whole shit ton when we're on field, is just understanding, again, basic platoon organization, commander laying these things out well beforehand so that we have some good organization, understanding how to give a general op order so that we know on field beforehand what we're supposed to be doing. And even just the basic, hey, we're just doing a frontal assault, whatever, that's fine. It's better than nothing. And then we look at the execution part. How do we actually execute? There are basically three types